Alright, welcome back, and this is part 2, the Photoshop part actually, of the previous tutorial which we recorded. So this is the shade render that happened, and we are in a completely new basically setup in Photoshop, and we're gonna be trying to use this color correction. So first things first, let's turn the grunge up actually a little bit more so you can actually see it. There we go. So now that we have that, we're gonna add some highlights and some shadows to the render. So gonna make a new layer and go to screen and get the brush, change to white, and just gonna gently go over some of the darker parts and turn the opacity down when I am done with it. Oops, not the opacity, this one. So it makes it a little bit brighter. Not too bright, but you know, bright enough. Like these parts. There we go. I'm gonna go on the outer section as well. Gonna do a little bit more with it after as well. Now that we have that, we can leave it there, and we're gonna make another layer and change that to multiply. Get a black brush and gonna go over the very light parts with a little bit darker and change the opacity down. So now it's all kind of the same type of, you know, shade. We're gonna duplicate these. Actually no, we're gonna create a clipping mask and then create another clipping mask. There we go. And now we are going to duplicate these and merge the layers. We can currently group these and hide them. We don't really need them for now. I'm gonna duplicate this and go to filter gallery and add glowing edges. Yeah, let's keep it like that, like it is now. I'm gonna go in here and I'm not gonna screen it, I'm gonna lighten it. I'm not gonna do 100%, but I'm gonna do about 50 odd percent. I was just gonna add a nice glow to it. What I'm gonna do now is gonna get the eraser and erase the parts that I don't want for it to glow. So the balls on the outside, I say balls again a lot, so we're gonna go and erase these, erase that, and take out some parts around the text as well, like that. So now we're left with something like this. So now what we're gonna do is, what's this? So now we're gonna go and grab the brush, make it quite a lot bigger actually, and go ahead and pick a decently bright color, I guess. So let's see, that'll do, I think, maybe. And just click in the background of the text, turn the opacity down. And now here comes the hard part. Now we're gonna go into my exclusive pack, which for the purpose of this video I'm gonna release it for free. It actually costs, but not gonna have to pay for this one, so you can just download it, and everything you need I think is in this pack or my other pack. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna fast forward me grabbing different elements from here and putting them around and on top of the banner. So Okay, now that you have basically everything that you sort of want to do around the batter put in, you're gonna have to, hang on just a second, I'm gonna turn the background grunge just up a little bit more. Now we're gonna go ahead and go on top of the layer of where the render itself is. You're gonna go ahead and grab another brush, make it smaller, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and highlight the outsides of the logo, and we're going to screen them, make it smaller, and make it pop out a little bit more and make it shine. So now that you have done that, you're basically gonna have something like this. Gonna add another layer, grab a brush and make another line in the bottom of it and make that glow a little bit lower, maybe to the side a little bit. Just position it where you're 100% happy with it. Gonna make it a little bit smaller. There we go. And not really happy with this glow at the top so that much, so I'm gonna go ahead and just deal with that real quick. Going to make the parts where it is darker and brighter a little bit sharper, I guess. That's the outside. Let's see, where was the parts? Lost them already. Anyway, gonna make another layer on top of this. Grab the brush, grab a darker one, and just gonna do the usual, set this to multiply, and paint over the darker, that's a bit too small, paint over the darker parts of the text, and we're just gonna blend them in a little bit nicer so it kind of all makes sense. And there we go. So it's not as dark, but it's still dark enough. Gonna do it at the bottom here a little bit, that side here, and a little bit there. So now we're gonna have this. Now what I'm going to do is select this whole normal logo here, gonna duplicate it, and we're gonna convert it to a smart object. Rasterize it, and make sure you select the color correction as well. I'm gonna duplicate it once again and merge layers. So now move that. Sorry about that, didn't mean to do that. Move it up here right underneath the rectangle for the selection. So basically we're not going to need any of these, so you can untick them. So now we're just going to work with the image by itself. So I'm going to duplicate that. Yeah, I'm going to duplicate that, go to filter, and I'm going to oil paint this because I kind of got used to oil painting recently. Once again, not really a very exciting thing for designers anymore, but I don't do it too much, I just do it to an extent. So this is what it looks like with the oil paint on. I'm going to turn the opacity very, very low, and I'm going to get rid of it where the text is around it, so only the outer meta ball is a little bit oil painted. So now I'm going to merge that. I'm going to go back, filter, and Gaussian blur it like so. Go grab a big brush, eraser, more like it, and just click in the middle a few times and get rid of the blur on the outsides. Gonna click there a few times, there we go. So now we're just kind of left with something like this. You can turn the opacity just down a little bit more so it kind of fades in better. There we go. Gonna merge that, and now what I'm going to do is get the select tool. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm just going to select random parts of the whole banner. This is going to add a glitch effect to it. I'm going to select it, Control T, and move it to the side. So now it looks something like this. Now what I'm going to do is gonna duplicate that, copy it twice, click on the second layer, untick B and G, go on a layer on top, and only untick R, select the very top layer and move it back to where it was. So this adds a nice glitch effect to the overall banner, and that is basically it, and that is how I make my banners. So hopefully you understood what I was doing. Once again, I can make a more detailed one showing where I put all the parts and everything, but just for the purpose of this video, once again, this was not for very beginners. This was for kind of, you know, more developed designers who kind of have an understanding of what I'm doing and know how to follow. So thank you guys for watching, and catch you later.